Jake Roos, we got a new Georgia commitment today on the books. Tell us about the newest Malachi dog.
Yeah, Malachi Toliver in the fold for the class of 2024. First offensive lineman of this class for the Bulldogs, and three-star guy, in-state guy out of Cartersville. So you have to love that. And listen, Auburn at one time thought to be the team to beat. South Carolina wanted this guy. So, there were other SEC programs that were involved here. I think that that's always got to be taken into account. Listen, 3 stars I know is not going to blow anybody away. I don't think anybody's going to be falling all over themselves, but they kept a really good in-state lineman out of the hands of, rival programs. And I think that you always have to take something like that into account, especially in what I think is a down year nationally for offensive line. So Toliver looks to me like a guy who can play, guard or tackle. I lean guard early, if I'm being honest with you, but I think he's got good feet. He moves well for his size, 6'5", 315. I think it was a solid pickup for Georgia to get the offensive line class started. Really appreciated the relationships he built in Athens. Stacey Searles was a big factor there. And like I said, they're going to have to take, and I'm not saying this about Toliver, but they're going to have to probably take 1 or 2 guys that are developmental prospects in this class, because it's just not a great one. And, you've got every program in the nation battling over a couple of guys, in my opinion, when you're talking about top-tier offensive linemen. That's always the case, but probably more so this year. I think there are less top-tier guys than there are normally. So Toliver, I like his game. I like the film, and I think Georgia made a great move in picking him up early, especially to keep him, like I said, in state. And Jake, I know you had a chance to watch him at the Under Armour game.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good athlete, and I think there's some potential there. He moves around well. He's got some bend to him. I thought his hand placement was awful, but that's a technique thing, and it's something he's going to kind of have to work on. It can also be really hard to get and maintain good hand placement in those one-on-one drills when nobody's wearing shoulder pads and they're wearing these Under Armour slick, deals on their chest and everything, and you're trying to block a dude that's like this wide. It's not easy to deal with. But I will say, looking at Malachi Toliver, I see a guy that's probably eating some chicken of the sea off of his pocket knife at some point.
Right. I think he's got to reshape his body too. I mean, there's some work to be done. I mean, he's not a finished product. And like I said, developmental is where they're probably going to have to lean. To me, if you're looking at one name in state, Daniel Calhoun is that guy for the 2024 cycle. But outside of that, Georgia's going to have to go outside of the state borders. There's not a Kelton Smith. There's not a Bo Hewley this year. You got to go find a Monroe Freeling. It's not going to be easy for Stacey Searles, and not that it was last year, but I think that he's got his work cut out for him a little bit stronger this year.
Tomahawk Dog, I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. Tomahawk Dog, Malachi's eyes are open in the picture, and he does have a pretty filthy mustache as well.
Dude, that stash following the upper lip, just outstanding.
Yeah, like I said, dude, chicken of the sea off the pocket knife out of the dock.
Also, too, on the recruiting front, Georgia hosted the #1 offensive tackle in the nation for 2025, #1 player overall, in fact, for that class. Chad Simmons with a great write-up. Get over to DawgsHQ and check that one out. David Sanders. This is a guy that I think Georgia's in with very early and strongly, I should say. I'm not willing to say that they're a favorite or anything like that, but I do think that they're going to be one of the big factors for the long term.
Isn't he like the best offensive lineman ever?
Yeah, in the history of the world.
What Jake Rose said.
Confirmed. Yeah, I mean, if he ever learns how to play football, we all need to hide.
No, David Sanders, he's a hell of a player, man. Great build for it, incredible spirit, and I think that he's obviously he's #1 guy. I think that Georgia going to be a big factor there for some time. That he was on campus this past weekend, really big. He's mentioned personalization in the past as something that he values, and sounds like they knocked that out of the park again. So get over and read Chad's update.
Good stuff, guys.
He's also got, I believe, 4 sisters who I believe he's the oldest by a good margin.
I think they control the recruitment.
And I think they probably run him based on what I saw. I mean, they've got his number, dude.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's got a team around him, huh?
Yeah. And those 4 younger sisters know what's up.
Well, good luck to any
I'm
coach
hoping, honestly, I would love at some point in the process to get in touch with his parents and talk to and to do a story of them talking about him. I think it would be a lot of fun because they came through. They are bosses 100%. Like they've got it going on.
There's publicist, his manager, his agent,
trainer.
Yeah.